I'm Professor John Levosky, Chairman of the Mechanical Engineering Department at UT El Paso. Because we could not give you an actual tour through our facilities, we've prepared this film to show what mechanical engineering at UTEP is like. As you know, we are located off the main campus in the old Globe Mills complex. We call our off-campus housing Hacienda Tech. Approaching Hacienda Tech from the main campus, the first thing we see is the Paymaster Water Tower. It is our most prominent landmark. Next to it is our Fluid Mechanics and Heat Transfer Laboratory. That warehouse building is it. This shot is taken approaching Hacienda Tech from the opposite direction. The building you see houses our department's administrative and faculty offices. Unlike our laboratory building seen earlier, the office building is quite modern and comfortable. As with all academic departments, our most valuable asset is our dedicated and enthusiastic faculty. Here we see some of the faculty coming to work now. Notice how eager they are to start the day. The mainstay of our educational system is still the lecture. Here is a lecture period in fluid mechanics about to begin. It is in such sessions as this that the professor is required to arouse the student's interest in the subject and inspire him to learn. As you see, the professor is careful to go slowly so that the students are able to keep up with a minimum of effort. You will notice that the professor at all times relates the mathematical concepts of his lecture to carefully sketched physical diagrams. By such techniques, the professor is able to get across the basic concepts needed for a clear understanding of the subject. At the end of each lecture, the professor is always happy to answer any questions the students may have. The patience and understanding of the professor here is obvious. An important part of the undergraduate student's learning experience is the laboratory. Since most lectures are held on the main campus, our students are sometimes pressed to make lab sections on time. In order that the laboratory period be spent in the most efficient manner, the students are first carefully briefed on the experiment to be run that day. This is done by the laboratory instructor. It is his job to see that each student is familiar with the equipment and the function he will perform during the experiment. Here are the students actually performing the laboratory experiment. As can be seen, the laboratory instructor has done his job well. Notice how each student carries out his assigned task so that the overall effort is so smooth it reminds one of a well-rehearsed ballet. The faculty also spends a good deal of time in the laboratory on important research projects. The objective of the faculty research effort is to push back the frontiers of knowledge. Engaging in such activity is a personally rewarding experience, and in so doing, the faculty member knows he is helping mankind. He also knows, as seen here, that he has my full support as his department head and intellectual leader. In addition to faculty research, our students are required to do research projects in small groups. The end result of such research projects is not always anticipated. The facility you are now seeing is one of our subsonic wind tunnels. This group of seniors has been assigned the project of measuring the wind velocity at the end of the tunnel. Let us observe their research ability. Another research tool available to the students is a smoke tunnel. With this device, a model is placed in the test section and air is blown over it. Into the airstream is injected smoke so that the flow patterns about the model may be observed. The tunnel is ideal for student research in that it is both simple to operate and completely safe. This group of senior students is preparing to study the pressure drop in water flow through various diameter copper pipes. The apparatus they are using is rather complicated and requires the students have a thorough knowledge of its operation. These students obviously understand this device perfectly. In addition to the equipment you have already seen, the ME department has in its inventory many other instruments for research in such special areas as vibrations, photoelasticity, and high-speed airflow. In the area of high-speed airflow, one of our most valuable devices is the shock tube, shown here. Much of the department's research requires special equipment not commercially available. When such a need arises, the equipment must be built in our modern, well-equipped machine shop. We are fortunate in having one of El Paso's finest machinists to head up our group of shop technicians. He is skillful, fast, and most knowledgeable in his trade. Such a man saves the department much money which could be lost due to inefficient use of raw materials. Despite the apparent emphasis on classroom teaching and research, I, as department head, am proudest of the relationship which exists between the faculty and the students. Our faculty is never too busy to take time to help and encourage the student. The students know they have but to come to any faculty member on my staff and they will be greeted with respect, warmth, and understanding. The dedication of our faculty is complete. In the evening, after a long day of teaching and researching, they are still reluctant to leave their work. In conclusion, I am proud and happy to lead such a group of dedicated faculty and students in the pursuit of knowledge for the betterment of society.